Alright, y'all. Here we go again with the same old BS. Hopefully, this gets to the right hands. Try to figure out some other ways as well to get this exposed and out to the media and to the public because I'm tired of dealing with it. So, I got corrupt officials doing corrupt things to me. Not only have they been following me from state to state, but they have been messing with my phone connection. And also, like I've been saying in my readings, how they have been able to install something in my vehicle to where they have control of my vehicle. Not only have control and access to my vehicle, they are able to hear everything that I'm saying and see everything that I'm doing with whatever they have installed. Now, the salesman that sold me this car, or should I say financed me this car, is named Alex Nugene, and he is from Lakeland, Toyota in Florida. And as I was signing my papers to finish out the sales, he had me sign with a sheriff's pen. So I know that he is working with sheriffs to have the ability to install whatever he installed on my phone. When I first tried to do this live, they tried messing with my connection to where nothing would come up when I had just recently was gonna do a live, as y'all will probably see if it get posted, if they don't post it, because it was no time on it because I backed out so that I could get the information that I needed in regards to expose him in this video. But these people refuse to leave me alone. Like I said, this situation is in regards to multiple things, not only property, but money, things that's owed to me, and the fact that these people cannot get me caught up for me to go to jail or for me to be framed for an STD that they've been trying to give to me since the year of 2023. Now we're in 2026 and these people are still at it with the plots and plans. And like I said, every state that I go to, they have people that is working. This is corrupt officials, not only corrupt officials, but Masons as well, because they want me a part of this Mason group, this swingers group that I don't want to be a part of. Once again, but like I said, as soon as I went to get Alex Nugene's information, that's when I was about to go on live again, and that's when they shut my connection down. So I wasn't able to search anything or start my live or do anything. And I was in the same location, same spot that I was in since last night because I stayed overnight. As y'all all know, that I'm staying in my car. So I've been in the same location. And when I was in the location all last night, I didn't have any problems with my connection. Everything was running smoothly. I had all my bars. There was nothing wrong. So because these people want me without money, because they're trying to force me into a situation, they got me to lose a job. I was supposed to start the job today, but because I couldn't start because of them controlling my vehicle, I lost the job. Now, wherever access they have to be able to control my vehicle, they're able to shut it off whenever they get ready. I've been to Advance Auto to get everything tested as far as my battery, my starter, and alternator, and nothing is wrong with none of them. I never have any lights on my dash, so I know there's nothing wrong with the vehicle. I just got the vehicle. I just had it almost 2 months, if not 2 months, 2 months the max, if anything. And I even got it at a very low mileage, so there shouldn't have been anything wrong with the car. Now, normally, the first two times that this happened, I tried to pretty much not even hold anybody accountable. I looked at it as if I just left something in a cigarette lighter compartment and that drained my battery. Apparently, that's not what it is, because last night I didn't do any of that. I've been riding perfectly fine for about a week without any problem shutting my car on and off, able to start my car with no problems. But like I said, last night I had no problems. I pulled up to where I pulled up, turned the car off. When I turned the car off, I made sure everything was unplugged. So there was nothing draining the battery. And yet still they knew that I had to go to the job this morning. So I know that this was all planned, because when I woke up to try and start my vehicle, to start my day, the vehicle would not start. It was completely dead. Now, mind you, like I said, there was nothing draining the battery or anything for the car not to cut on. So they have access to my finances because they've been hacking my phone and every electrical device that I have or that I'm around, because these people have been heavily surveillancing me, stalking me, watching me in any way, shape, or form that they can. Yesterday, y'all know I just did a big exposure video, and that is exactly what they've been trying to do to me. And they've been working with my baby father, which his name came out in my reading yesterday, which is Marcus. He was a part of the Air Force, um, but he claimed he had a dishonorable dispatch, or however you say that. But not only that, his father was a retired cop, which he is no longer here. He passed away a few years ago, but he was a retired cop. And also, my baby father did something with investigations. So he's been able to have access to certain things that he's not supposed to have access to be able to stalk me and keep a track of everything I do. So there's been illegal investigations on me by not just him, but multiple corrupt officials, like I said. Now, if you know, when you have a membership for certain credit reports, and you could put your data and the information to where it comes up, whoever searches your name and what they search it under, what website, what they're using. Just last year, I had over 100 law enforcement agencies and websites searching me for whatever reason. And now this year, I had just 18 within the last few months. And then earlier in the year, it was about 30 to 50, somewhere around that time. So these people keep searching me, keep trying to look into me for whatever reason. Now, my baby father was trying to sacrifice me, and because the sacrifice didn't go through, I know that he is going to be offered jail time if he isn't already in jail. And he is someone that doesn't really like to go to jail. I mean, one time he went to jail and he called me crying pretty much of how he was sorry, how he was going to change and everything. And pretty much he just scared to be in that position. Now, he goes both ways, so I don't even understand why he would be scared when he already deal with men as well. Now, in regards to this STD, I don't know if he caught something, but since the year of 2013, he has been dealing with other men, and I had caught him quite a few times emailing different men. He used to post on Craigslist, trying to get pay to play situations, and there was emails exposed because he actually gave me his password at one point because he claimed like he didn't have anything to hide. But for a long while, I wasn't even looking at it until I suspected stuff, and I found a lot of emails to where he has been dealing with other men. So if he has the STD that these people are trying to give me, the reason is he deals with other men. He is on the down low. He deals with a lot of women as well, and that is the cover up for him not being exposed for dealing with a lot of men and getting paid to deal with these men. But this is what he does. So not only him, but my family and his family have been trying to send people my way to try and infect me. And like I said, they've been trying to do this since 2013. They tried to pay an Aquarius to come my way. They tried to make it seem like he was in the same position as me, which he is actually cool with his family. I've met his family. His family has nice homes. They have every capability of um helping him in his situation. But he claimed he didn't want the help from them. He wanted to do things on his own or what so have you. But they sent him in to try and infect me, and because that didn't work, because I am protected, they have been trying to send other people into me to infect me that is carrying whatever this STD is that they are spreading around in this swingers community because they are all swingers. These people have been trying to force me to be bisexual or turn into a lesbian because they keep sending people my direction, well, men my direction to where it won't work out. And I just eventually want to deal with females. Unfortunately, that's not how I think. I've had my share of dealing with females just to experiment. I'm normally an open person. I like to experience things in life to know what I want and what I don't want in life. And I experienced enough to know that that's not what I want. Yet these people keep trying to force me. There's a Sagittarius that's involved with all this that has been trying to get me to go over to the other side because she likes me and she wants to deal with me. Now she's been trying to pretty much destiny swap with me along with a lot of other people that they've had because these people want my gifts. Not only do they want my gifts, they stole an inheritance from me and property from me that they've been living in that I didn't have any knowledge of. But because of all the things that these people have been trying to put me through and have me caught up, I know very much so this is what they've been trying to do. They've been trying to have me in all types of altercations to try to get me to fight with people, to try to get people to fight with me, gang up on me. I've been attacked by someone I don't even know before out of the random, and to know that corrupt officials was working with them because they were right there when it happened and they allowed it to happen. But then when I start getting my licks in, that's when they wanted to break it up. But didn't know the girl from Can of Paint, and I don't know what her situation is with me or who she know or how she was told, but I guess she was, how can I say this, bribed to do it by a Aries male that stays in Jersey, New Jersey. I don't know if he travels all over to do this. He tries to traffic women. And at the time, I was in the adult industry, and because these people have a bigger plot, a bigger plan, and I didn't really understand what was going on. Like I said, I never knew the severity of being in the industry. So I was in the industry, and we just gonna backtrack. It's just gonna be a storytelling day because I'm just tired of being bothered, and whatever information I could get out to help my situation, that's just what I feel I have to do at this point because these people refuse to leave me alone. They refuse to allow me to live my life. And I'm just fed up. But I was actually, let's step it back. We're going to go as far back as 2019. 2019, well, no, 2018, I caught my mom and my baby dad doing some things they shouldn't have been doing. And I didn't react in the way that they probably thought I would have react. Maybe they didn't even think that I would have caught them because I was asleep at the time. And what made me get into tarot is after that happened, we had a big fallout or whatsoever. And I seen a video with the title that resonated with what happened. And I never seen tarot before or anything, but that was my first time. So that's when I actually got into tarot because I was guided to that video by the title. I watched it and it was exactly what had happened. So I started watching tarot ever since then. But long story short, my family and my baby dad has been mad at me ever since, trying to put me in messed up situations. That was my first time of being homeless because they started working with my jobs, which I was working at UPS at the time. And UPS started messing with my pay. Like they wasn't paying me fairly. I was a dispatch supervisor as I was promoted up to that position. And there was another dispatch supervisor also working the same position as me, and we were supposed to be working as a team pretty much, but he made me do all of the work pretty much. Well, I like to do my job, and when I'm at a job, I normally try to do my best at the job and try to get better. So I didn't even pay it any mind that I was doing the bulk of the work. But he would brag about how much he was getting paid from the job. Meanwhile, I never even touched the money that he was seeing doing the same thing. And we would work the same hours pretty much. And even with overtime, they was shortchanging me to where I was only getting paid. I was still getting paid what a loader was getting paid. And how I know that is I was a loader before I got promoted. So I knew the difference in between my checks, and they was pretty much the same, not really much of a difference. So they were shortchanging me while he was getting paid more when he was doing less of the work. So that was something fishy right there. So I'm the type of person, if I feel like a job doesn't really see my worth, eventually I'm going to leave because I don't like being at a job where they're not going to see my worth, because I know I'm the type to put in a lot of work. And like I said, I always try to aim to get better at whatever job that I get, because that's just me. I be trying to move up in the companies, but because of everything that I be dealing with, not knowing that people stole from me in their plots to get me to a certain place, to not be able to find out what they've been doing, what they've been stealing. They have been trying to put me in messed up positions ever since. So back to that. So I left the job. I had wrote a book, and I actually was influenced to do the book. At first, it was just an idea, but my baby father's mother encouraged me to do the book pretty much. Claimed that she had someone to publish it, and long story short, the company was pretty much a scam. They were scamming people. So, I lost a lot of money from that, and I was pretty much taking a chance on that. So I got backed up in rent. So I left my apartment, and that was my first time being homeless, because I'm the type of person, I don't want to be so backed up in bills to where as though it would be damn near impossible for me to catch up, or I'll be forever trying to play catch up. So I left. Now, I did owe some money, and me, the type of person I am, I don't care how long it is. If I'm ever in a position to where I'm stable and I also have money to do extra things, I have no problem with paying any debt that I owe, anything that I owe. But people play with your jobs, they play with your money, and still expect for you to give them the money that you don't have. So, me and that landlord been having issues, and pretty much after that, I met someone. I guess he was a part of all this. I don't know if he was supposed to be my handler or whatsoever, but he came in pretty much acting like he wanted something with me. And long story short, he did nothing but play games. But right after I met him, he would like stand me up and stuff like that. And after he stood me up, I noticed that I had got in an accident and lost my vehicle. And it was my first vehicle finance. I actually was able to get someone to co-sign for me, because I was used to actually buying my cars flat out with income tax, because I'm normally working a regular job. So, got in an accident after meeting him shortly, and An ex best friend of mine was also in on that because she had sold me a phone. Her baby dad had worked at a phone company, Total Wireless, and they had used phones pretty much. And I paid for a phone because I had damage to my phone to where I couldn't use it. I didn't really have the money to really pay for a new phone. So I gave her what I had and she gave me a phone. Me not knowing, thinking that was my friend, thinking she was genuine, she was hacking my phone. So they actually orchestrated the whole accident, which was not even too far from my baby's dad job at the time. So I knew that they were all in on it and they tried to get money out of me that way, which it didn't fall through. I obviously been protected by God because a lot of things that people been trying to do to me, he's been protecting me like it's been a way out. How, I don't know, but they've been doing that a lot as well, trying to get me in accidents to where that I would have to pay out money that I either don't have or just put me in a messed up position to where certain things would be messed up to where I either can't get a new car, my insurance would be sky high, or I would have to pay out money that I don't have. Like, so all these people been working together to do this. So that's when I started thinking that maybe I should start somewhere fresh, start somewhere new, and that's when I moved to Florida because my mom and my brother and my kids was already down there. Not not even to explain the CPS case that they put against me when I was actually dating my baby father. I started dating him in 2013. In 2015 is when they tried to have my kids taken. We were about to go on an outing. I was trying to get dressed and I needed his help when it came to my son. Now, my oldest son, his father had him, so I only had my second child at the time, and he was a toddler, and I allowed for him to get him dressed, and um, long story short, my son was crying, and I came in the room crying, and he claimed that he just ain't want to get dressed or whatsoever. So I'm in a rush. We're in a rush. I think I had an interview that day or something because I wasn't working. I was on government assistance. So I tried to go to the interview and we had a long day pretty much that day. Went to an interview, went out to eat, did a lot of things we didn't get back into really late. So he didn't have a bath because he had a bath earlier in the day. So I didn't feel like it was a need. So the next morning I washed him up and that's when I seen a mark on his stomach and I asked my baby father about it and he claimed that when he was trying to get him dressed he almost fell off the bed so he tried to catch him, which at the time it was a handprint on his stomach. So me, either I was naive or I just was in a certain mindset to where I believed what he said and I let things be. And a little while after that, my son got sick because we were in a rooming house. And because he was sick, I wanted him to get checked, so I took him to the hospital. Now, by this time, the mark had started going away, so it wasn't a full handprint anymore. So, I had already had a CPS case prior dealing with his actual father that I was with that was abusive. Like he always used to put his hands on me. We were always fighting. And how they even got into my life to begin with is one day um I told him to leave. I was actually renting a house. He wasn't really helping me with anything, and he was always cheating on me. So I asked him to leave. I told him I didn't want to be with him, and he got belligerent and was trying to fight me. Meanwhile, I had the baby in my hand. I'm trying to get away from him, and I tried to go downstairs, and he pushed me into the door. The baby head hit the door, and my child had a dot on his head. So I'm panicking. I don't know what to do. He's trying to fight me with the baby in my hand. I'm trying to call my mom on the other end, not even knowing that she's one of my biggest ops. So she called the ambulance for me or whatsoever. We went to the hospital. CPS met me there. And I went through the whole program, went through parenting class, all that. And the whole time that I went through all of this, he was in the house. They said that he didn't have to leave, but he did nothing. So every time that In Protective Services would come to do their visits, I was the only one sitting there while they were there doing their visits, while he roamed the streets and did whatever he wanted to do. It's like they didn't hold any accountability to him. They let him do whatever he wanted to do, while I had to put in all the work in order to keep my son. Now, like I said, because my son was sick, I took him to the hospital. We went to Temple Hospital. Now we're waiting on results. They had us there for a long time, and then they claimed that they couldn't service us, that I would have to go to another hospital. I forgot the name of the hospital at the time, but it was the same hospital where CPS came into my life the first time. So, with that being said, they were already there waiting on us when we got there, pretty much. And when they did x-rays and stuff, at first I didn't really want to tell them what happened because I'm scared. I didn't want my son to be taken. I knew the first time when they came into my life that they said that if this happened again, it's a possibility that my son could be taken. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know about these situations and how they really play out. So I was scared. But then as the night progressed, like the caseworker was pretty much back and forth to the hospital. So when she had left, I had told one of the doctors what happened, which was exactly what my baby father told me, because I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't in the room. I was trying to shower and get ready while he was getting him ready. So I really don't know what happened. Only thing I know is what he told me. So I told them exactly what he told me. And either they didn't relay the information or this was another setup. Because when the caseworker came back, I don't think anybody relayed it to them, which they were supposed to. But long story short, my son got taken, but because my mom was there, she claimed that she would take my son, but her and my aunt pretty much was ping ponging him until they made a final decision of who was going to be his caretaker, and she ended up being his caretaker. So, um, I was pregnant at the time with my third son by the baby dad that I'm going through all this with. And I had to leave the room and house because I was pretty much, as y'all already know, I was on public assistance trying to get a job and wasn't able to get a job. So, um, I moved out of the room and house after that situation happened because things just didn't feel the same. Me not having my son My son was pretty much the closest thing to me at the time. So I just left the rooming house and I went to stay with my aunt on my dad's side. Now, I was with her, and with the little bit of assistance that I was getting, I was paying her rent. We had agreed on a certain amount, and I was paying her that. She, in return, she would talk to me. She was talking to somebody at the time, some dude that she was just using. And this is how my family is on both sides. They are users. So they use people for what they have and what they can give them. So my aunt, she gave me a contact and she said, "Oh, you need to talk to such and such friend. This is the friend of who she was dealing with." And I spoke to him. She said, "Oh, he's a business owner whatsoever. Let him help you. Maybe he can help you get a place and whatsoever." So I did just that, and I started talking to the man. And we didn't do anything. I didn't have to do anything, but he would help me out from time to time, and I let him know what was going on and that I actually did need a place, as I was about to give birth soon anyway. So um, she went on vacation, and when she went on vacation is actually when he ended up paying for me an apartment. I got the apartment. I called her while she was on vacation. I let her know, and she act like she was happy for me, but she's like, "Oh, you still gotta pay and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll pay for the time that I've stayed, but I can't pay for the whole month because even though he paid for the deposit, I still have to pay rent." So she wasn't happy with that answer. So she cursed me out. She called me all types of names. And at the time, like, I didn't really know where I was going to go. So she helped me move in with her, but all of my stuff wasn't in her home. So there was a lot of my stuff in her van as pretty much storage. So when I moved out while she was gone or whatever, I still sent her the money that I did say that I was sent because I did exactly what I said I would do. And like I said, she wasn't happy. She started calling me all types of names, leaving me nasty voicemails and all types of things. And I ended up getting sick while pregnant because my potassium was low, and then my asthma flares up when I'm pregnant because of the pressure. So I end up being hospitalized for a few days. Now, the hospital I was at, the closest person to me was my baby father. So I called my baby father for a ride back to my apartment after I was done. And he did that. And I don't know how she knew that I had contacted my baby father, but she ended up trying to say that I was back with him, I was back dealing with him, that I didn't appreciate the man that was doing stuff for me or what so have you. So she called him, told him all types of lies, and he locked me out of the apartment. So I lost a lot of my stuff, a lot of electronics, a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes. And back then I wore a lot of name brands. So this is why I don't really care about name brand stuff. I really shop off Sheen, Temu, freaking Walmart. I really don't care as long as I'm able to put something together that looks good. That's all that matters to me because I always lost the name brands that I had. And along with like DVD players, TVs, camcorders that had very special moments On this camcorder I lost because of that. She paid some guys to haul off my stuff in a truck, and I was thankful that I was able to get them for the first batch of stuff. But for the second batch of stuff, my stuff was just gone. And some of my son's stuff was also included in that stuff. So not only I, but my son lost stuff as well. And after that situation, when I tried to come back and get my stuff on her block, she pretty much came after me with a butcher knife. And mind you, I'm pregnant at the time. So whatever set her off, like I said, telling the truth of what happened. Um, I don't know if she expected me to give her all of my money when she knew that I didn't have it like that to begin with, off of what I was able to pay her while staying with her. But like I said, I paid for what I stayed like that month for about a week, if that. So like I said, she was very like upset about that, and she tried to come after me with a butcher knife or whatever, because after her having that man put me out, I had nobody to run to again but my baby dad to try to help me get back the stuff that I could get back. So the fact of her seeing me with him, I guess that ticked her off even more, and that's why she came at me with a butcher knife or whatsoever. But after that situation, I was still dealing with court, dealing with the CPS. Now, if y'all don't know, when they take a child from you, they are involved in your life for the next 5 years. So, any child that you have in the next 5 years with the dealing with them is automatically their custody. So, when I had my son that I was pregnant with, they took him from the hospital. So, my mom was there to take him from the hospital. Now, I really wasn't going for that. I was really upset with the situation. So me and my mom was able to come up with something, even though I wasn't supposed to be seeing the kid. She allowed me to see the kid, and she allowed me to take my child back with me. So I had my baby at the time, and I was still taking care of him, still taking care of my other child as well. Trying to do the best that I could, because she would only allow me to keep the baby and not my older child. So, long story short, years into this court case, I've done every single thing that they asked me to do, literally. And I always told them what happened with the situation, and they claimed that they would get my baby father involved, but they never went after him. They lied and claimed that when they went to the location, there was nobody there, or the mother said that he don't live there. Like, it was all types of lies going around. They just never went after him. So, again, second time around, I have to deal with the situation all by myself off of something I didn't even do. Like, I don't harm my kids. I don't want to harm my kids. But I did every single thing that these people asked me to do. And right when we get to the last court date, my mom was supposed to pick the baby up from me so I could get to the court date on time, which she didn't get to me on time. And I guess that was a plot as well, because she pretty much made me miss the court date. You know that I'm not supposed to have my baby, and you know I can't walk in the court date with the baby. So I had no choice but to wait for her to come and get him. And she came way after the court date was already ended. So I went into the courts. I tried to tell them, and they acted like it was nothing that I could do. I didn't show up. I'm just shit out of luck, pretty much. So after years of going through court battles and doing every single thing that these people asked me to do, I even was able to manage to get a stable living situation because I knew that was one of the things I had to do before getting my son back. I had a job, all that. Everything they asked me to do, I went through a program. I did parenting for about the second time around. And like I said, they just acted like it was nothing I could do. Now, me, I'm young at the time, didn't really know, didn't really have help because I've always been in a situation where I have to figure out things myself or experience things myself because people either want to backstab me for whatever reason. Like I said, I think it's all due to something that they stole from me or um, just people not wanting to help for whatever reason. So I didn't really know about appealing, and at the time, I was just in a bad space. So I didn't even think that appealing would be a good idea because I just felt like obviously I wasn't in a good enough situation for these people because they did everything in their power to make sure I didn't get my kids back. So my mom has adoption over my two middle children. Um, but long story short, I'm gonna keep saying this because it's always a long story to each story, but it all blends together with the same story. The moral of the story is these people have been doing all these things in my life because they don't want to give me something that was left to me. They stole it or trying to steal it, and they just don't want me to have it. And every time I try to expose, not even expose, just me doing tarot because I've been awakened, I've been through the dark night of the soul, and I'm just doing what I feel like is meant for me because I've tried so many things in life and it just didn't work out for me. It's always something involved to where as though it's unnecessary or it's unwanted, and I just feel like that's just what's meant for me to try to help other people. I always been someone to try to help other people. Like I say, even through my times of homelessness, like if I had food, I don't even care if it was like my last, like there's been times where I bought a pizza and I would have like one or two slices left and I would give it to another homeless person because I see you as on the street while I'm in my car, so I feel like you deserve it more than me. I had change in the bag that I have built up $5, $10 here and there that I would do that for. Like if I was to wash clothes, I would save my change or whatsoever and just build it up and I would give that to homeless people. There's been times I've built backpacks of blankets and hoodies and waters and just whatever I could to give to homeless people. And pretty much like I said, I just try to help other people. So I feel like me doing this is helping other people. I don't see it as an attack to anybody else. But the fact that it does expose what's going on with my situation, as well as it could be exposing other people. Like I said, they do agree that they are going through some of the same things. So I know that I'm not only helping myself, I'm helping other people. But it seemed like people feel so exposed by what I be saying and knowing that it's the truth. that they try to seek revenge on me. So every time I expose something on the internet, they make me go through something to where as though they think that I'm gonna shut up. Like if y'all been reading, well, watching my past readings collectively, it speaks about this. And especially the one from yesterday, they've been using all types of tactics to try to intimidate me into shutting up. These people have been doing countless of witchcraft and spell work on me to try and mess with certain things, try to mess with my head, try to do certain things. Like these people have tried to deem me as crazy numerous of times, but each and every time I get met with the therapist, or I've been in a situation where they try to have me admitted. These people always release me because they say, I don't see it's nothing wrong with you. You're probably just depressed, or you're probably just stressed and overwhelmed. But these people, like I said, they've been doing nothing but stalking me heavily. Like it's so bad to the point where it's no state that I could go to where I'm not being gang stalked. I'm not being watched in some way, shape, or form. Like it's always somebody watching me. And then because of what I'm going through, nobody wants to help. Everybody just want to laugh, embarrass me, humiliate me for whatever reason. They've done humiliation rituals on me on repeat. Like, and this has been going on at least for the last 4 years. That they have been trying to embarrass and humiliate me, have me homeless. Or I've been homeless off and on since 2019. And it seems like every time I get to a stable place to where I'm in an apartment and I have a job and I'm able to pay bills, it's like something goes haywire to where they put me in a position to where people are either taking opportunities from me, reneging on their opportunities that they want to give me, and I end up back in the same situation. It's like it's a never ending cycle. Now, back to the situation with the industry. Back in like I said, 2019 when I had the accident, I was pretty much fed up because for a long time I've been doing independent contractor work, so I use my vehicles for work. And by them knowing that, everything that they know that I use to be able to be stable, they attack. And before I lose this train of thought, by the way, like I said, my mom, or supposedly mom, she's my biggest op. Now, I've been watching her go to psychics ever since I was a child, but I thought nothing of it until I understood what a attack felt like and looked like. And when I was staying with her, I moved in with her when I left PA after the accident, and I stayed with her for about 2 weeks. Me and my mom, we never really got along. We physically fought when I was like 13. Like, she just never really liked me for real. She just never really been a person that I felt like I could go to and talk to about things. So I held a lot of things when it came to being touched on when I was a child. My brother touching on me, trying to enter himself into me, all types of stuff. I held it in for a long time until I was pretty much older and felt comfortable talking about it. But so the fact that she's been going to psychics ever since I was a child is all the more reason for me to feel like it's something deeper than what I'm thinking that it is, because it seems like she's been trying to figure out ways to conquer me ever since I was a kid, so I won't be able to live the life that I'm supposed to live, or a life that I'm able to obtain, because I always worked. I've been working since the age of 9. And I say 9 because my brother used to do the papers, and I used to take half of his route and do half of his route, and he would give me a portion of his pay for doing half of his route. And that's at 9 years old. When I was about maybe 10, 11, he used to work at a grocery store, and we used to help people, like older people, with their bags and stuff. So I got approached by a older female, and she offered me a position to help her organize. She was a hairdresser or whatsoever. So she gave me a position back then. So I was always working. So I never had a problem with working. And that's why I'm it. But as I was saying, I moved in with her in 2019, and I ended up getting a job within 2 weeks of staying with her. And I got to this job, and I used to prepare my food at home and bring it in for lunch. And one day I had a spaghetti TV dinner or whatsoever, and I had put it in a microwave so that it could be unfrozen, so I could be able to put it in a container to just be able to heat up a little bit later. And while I had my food in the microwave, I went to finish getting ready. So that same day, I went to work, and like, a lot of people was pretty much like, at first, like when I first got there, like they were being friendly, talking to me or whatever, but then it seemed like how well I did my job, or if they were paid to try to cause drama with me. I don't know what the situation was with that, but it's like the females at the job was like pretty much trying to start with me, pretty much being phony with me or whatsoever. So that day when I ate my food, I got really sick, like really sick. So I had to go home. And I thought it was someone at the job that put something in my food or did something to my food. But now that I think back, or when I thought back on the situation, I feel like my mom put something in my food to make that happen. So I had to stay days in bed just to get better. Like, I really felt that bad. So after that, like I said, I went back to work when I got better. And like I said, people were pretty much just trying to start trouble with me, or they was just trying to get in my business, and was just being two-faced towards me. So I started looking for another job or whatever, landed another job, and I ended up leaving because, like I always say, I'm far from PUSSY, but I don't like drama because I've been to jail before, I've sat in the holding cell, and I've been in placement ever since I was 13 to 17. So I don't want any more of my freedom being taken away, because I know what it feels like. And I just feel like if I'm not doing anything to put myself in that position, I shouldn't deserve to be in that position. So I try to stay out of trouble as best as I can, because I can have a temper at times, because I've been through a lot. And I'm a good person all in all. So a lot of things get to me and I may let my anger get the best of me. Now, when I was younger, I got into a lot of fights because of my anger, and I just really wasn't the type to deal with too much. Like, so growing up and me going through placement, I've been to about 3, 4 group homes, kicked out of group homes for fighting, sent to another group home. I've been to a maximum security for 11 months straight, dropped down to a group home, ran away from the group home, was out for about 4 months. Like, my life just always been in an uproar, so I used to be someone that carved into my skin. So before I got my first tattoo, I had hate carved where that tattoo is, because the whole time in placement, my mom never really reached out. She probably sent me about 2 letters, visited me once throughout the whole time. So the only person I had to talk to at the time is who became my first baby dad. And I met him at the first group home that I was at. I've been to detention centers as well, because you go to a detention center before they place you where they want to place you. So um, I met him in a group home because there was this girl that came in and she snuck a phone in there and she introduced me to him. And on one of our outings, I got to meet him, so we were always talking or whatever. Um, Long story short, at my last group home, I ran away because he was there to come and pick me up. And during this time, like, we were fighting, like we were just going through things. He was older than me at the time. I'm still underage. He was like in his 20s and I'm like 13, 14. But we were going through a lot at the time, and just how my life was going, the fact that I was on a run and everything was just starting to get to me. And then it's like him, his mom, and my mom tried to pretty much take me back to placement, and I didn't want to go. So I tried to overdose while in the car, and they rushed me to the hospital. No, you gotta drink the tar shit and get that pumped out. So that didn't happen. So I went to little psych ward or whatever, and got sent to a boot camp after that. So pretty, like I said, all my teenage life, I have been in a cage, like not really being able to have my real freedom. So I try to stay out of trouble as an adult, and it's like they keep trying to send people towards me to have altercations with me, have problems with me, because they know that I have a temper and I'm a work in progress. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still in me. But I'm smart enough to know not to do certain things to where that I would get locked up, because I know that's what their ultimate goal is, and was and still is. Like, they're still at this. Um, but a lot of this have to also do with what I know. Like, when it comes to my grandma death, I think they set her up too. Like, my family, they're the type of people that will set up their own family members for insurance money and to obtain things that they have, because they feel like they're going to be left out. And this is on my dad's side and my mom's side, if these people are even really my family for real. But how they treat me, I don't think they are my family for real. Because who would treat their family like this? Like, I don't understand. Like, my father, for one, I met him when I was 7 years old. I thought my younger brother was my father, until one day they set me down and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna meet your father. This is your dad. Your real dad actually wants to meet you now and have a life with you." And so they sent me with him when I was 7, and that's how I even end up meeting him. But like I said, the whole situation is just awkward as hell. And I don't really think that these people are my family or one or the other isn't. But he doesn't really help me now. He paid child support back then. And we all know what the courts, they didn't really ask for too much when it came to DNA and when it came to certain things to be put on child support, what so have you. So he paid child support for me. I only lived with him for about 3 months in my entire life because I used to be scared of him. Like when I met him, like he gave off like scary vibes. Like he was always into like criminal shit. So me, like what my younger brother dad taught me, like he was on the up and up. Like he gave off innocence. So I was very sweet as a child, like very sweet. And even they would say it, "Oh, you were so sweet as a child." Now I don't know what happened, but it's what y'all created, not what happened. You know what happened. You did a lot of things to me to in order to create a monster, and even still I'm not the monster that y'all wanted to create me into being or what y'all portray me into being. I'm not this crazy person. I'm not none of that. I'm just somebody that went through a lot of unnecessary shit. But like I was saying, he never really did too much for me as an adult. Only thing he's ever done for me is maybe sent me money one time, and it probably was like 100 and something dollars. And he sent for me and my kids to come and visit him. Well, at the time I was pregnant and I had my second son with me, so we were the only ones that um went to where he lived. He paid for the flights or whatever, and we went down there. He took us out to a theme park or whatsoever. That is the only thing that he has done for me as an adult. Other than that, because of the altercation with my aunt, she is the aunt on my dad's side. So she told him all types of lies, and that's what got us to fall out because he called me all types of ungrateful whores and whatsoever. Said that I'm just not grateful because of whatever she had, this narrative of what she told him. And they're like the best of friends, so he pretty much took her side and just said, fuck me after that. And really wouldn't deal with me. So after years of not talking to him, I expressed how I felt, and we were actually talking for a little bit, and I he owns, like he has his own little he well, I don't know how you would say it. Like he has his own little private car lot or whatever, cause he has land, and he fixed cars up because he used to do aviation. So I asked him if he could give me a vehicle, and I just paid what I had, and he wouldn't even do that. Like he really wanted me to pay normal price as if I was a normal person for the vehicle. So I couldn't even get a vehicle from him. Not even with putting a little bit of bread with it. And it's supposed to be my father. But after that situation, stopped talking to him again. and years go by. I sent him a message again saying how I felt, but it was nothing good because that's truly how I felt. Like, you were around here having a happy family with a whole nother family. Meanwhile, you don't want to help your own family out. You don't want to have a good relationship with your own family. You're always expecting me to put in all the work while you do the bare minimum. And that's pretty much what it's always been with people that I've met. My family, like, they put in a bare minimum when it come to me, but they expect everything from me. And I'm very giving. Like, when I have it, I do for my family when I can. If they ask me to do something, I do it. My brother, you need me to watch your kids, I watch your kids. Whether if you got the money or not, or you give me a little bit for it or not, I watch your kids. When we're at family function and y'all want to chill out, y'all want to drink, y'all want to smoke, I'm the main one interacting with the kids, not only my own kids, but your kids as well. They know I'm the one that's going to interact with them, make sure they have supervision when they're playing. If there's certain things that they can't do on their own, I'm always right there to supervise them and what they do, or either engage in it with them, because I have a childlike side to me. And I like to play with kids. I like to interact with kids, keep them active. But even with my mom, like, even though you have my kids, you collect the check for my kids because of the adoption, I still was doing ever since. Like, so if it was something that they needed, I was providing if I had it. If it was something that she needed, I was providing if I had it. She has asked to have light bills paid. She has asked to have a phone bill paid. And there's been times when I have been in the same situation to where I have needed help with a phone bill and she would not help me. So I've been dealing with this all my life to where I always put in the majority of the work when it comes to family. And this is why I stay to myself. This is why I don't like to be around family. Because for one, they're always in drama. Whenever my cousins, my mom, any female of the family pretty much that I've been close to at one point of or another, they needed help when it came to an altercation with someone or they had a problem with someone, I was always the one that they were calling and I was there. Now, when it came to family situations, when they would have altercations with each other and I would intervene and take a side, I would always be the one jumped on. Like, they would try to pretty much tag team me, double team me, like I'm the one that's wrong in the situation. But I think that all stems from jealousy because even when I was a kid, like, I always, when I was younger, like, I grew up well, like, physically. And to be honest, like, not to, like, try to be cocky or anything, it's the truth. Like, I look better than a lot of the females in my family. On both sides. And like I said, that's not to be cocky, it's just the truth. So I think it stemmed from jealousy. And even when I was a kid, because of child support that my mom was getting, I looked nice. So I always had nice clothes, I always had my hair did or whatsoever. So my cousins didn't like me anyway. So it was always an off and on relationship with them. Then one of my cousins, in our teen days, I was dating a dude that we all grew up with, was around, and the same dude, she pretty much claimed herself stealing him from me, had kids by this man and everything. Supposedly he is dead now, but I don't know. These people scheme so freaking much for money. I don't even know if he's really away. This probably just a plot just for insurance money, but I don't know. This is what they do. So the way that they're targeting me and trying to just have my life flipped upside down, I know that they're either trying to do the same thing to me or they have taken something that was left to me, like I said. And they probably, try to have me admit it as crazy, tried to have me up on pills, which I was always guided to not even take the pills. So when I became old enough to not take them, I wasn't taking the pills. As I was younger, I tried them and still was no difference to me. I've been to several therapists and no one could help me for real because how I see it as if you haven't been through similar things or the same things as me, how are you going to help me through something you have yet to experience? You have no knowledge and you don't know what it feel like. So how could you help me when you don't know how I feel? And this is why I feel like I'm guided to help people through certain situations because I know how I feel. I've either came through them, gone through them, going through them, and that's why I'm able to relate with people. But people try to outcast me like I'm just so different when really I can relate to a lot of people when it come down to a lot of situations because I've been through a hella shit since a kid and still going through it as an adult and I'm about to be 34. But like I said, back to the industry thing. When I got the job after living with my mom, I got an apartment which was right across the street. Didn't want to have to keep getting rides from my brother's girlfriend or whatever. So I moved across the street or whatever so I could just be able to walk over to my job. And when I started living there, there was problems had there as well. That's when I realized that these people were attacking me. Like they had me near um living up above this guy. And I don't know what his job was, what he did, but he was always home, always sitting home. So I don't know what type of job he did, but whatever he did, he was able to pay his bills and still, be able to stay home. But when I first moved into the apartment, he had a girlfriend or whatever. And so I would never say anything to him. But then one day they broke up. They had this huge fight or whatever, and they broke up. And he spoke to me, and that's how we started talking, or what so have you. And in the midst of talking, like he started pretty much trying to claim me. Like it's early on, like we just starting to talk, and you trying to claim me. And I said nothing was official. So this guy, he started doing weird stuff, like watching my apartment. Like if I wasn't home, either I wasn't home or I would be in the house sleeping or something. And I would come out or I would come home and he would be sitting on the steps literally watching my apartment. And that kind of creeped me out or whatever. And then when I noticed that he started back talking to his ex-girlfriend, I told him that I couldn't talk to him anymore because I didn't want to be involved with that. I didn't want it to be any drama. And he pretty much got mad at me and started acting different towards me. Started talking to me different. He was like being disrespectful towards me because I pretty much told him that I wouldn't be able to talk to him any longer because he decided to get back with his girlfriend. So during the midst of us talking, like he ended up telling me that his mom do voodoo or whatsoever, and that's the first time I even heard someone speak of voodoo. So I never really knew that people did that. Didn't know too much about it. until he told me that his mom does voodoo. So after we had our falling out because he got upset of me telling him that, I noticed that I was being attacked. Like I would have nightmares, some of these nightmares, I would wake up crying. Like it would just be weird stuff. Or one time I felt like I was being choked, but then it felt like my door had closed. Like someone had access to my apartment or whatever. Then like they would just do like weird things. Like I had the sticker to my apartment to where as though, the apartments where you have the sticker to where you just pull up to the gate and you could be let in, or that's how they know that you're an actual resident so your car don't get towed. They still tried to tow my car one time, even with the sticker, and they claim that they didn't see the sticker on there. So they had a sticker on my car for my car to be towed. And the whole time my sticker saying that I resided at this apartment was on the car. But this is all after I told the guy that I no longer wanted to deal with him, or I couldn't deal with him any longer. I don't know if he worked for maintenance for that apartment or whatever he did. But a lot of weird things started going on 10:10 on the clock. And because he had told me that, he had shared that information with me of his mom doing voodoo, and even 2 weeks of staying with my mom, I knew, like I said, ever since I was a kid, she would go to psychics. But I was looking for pans and stuff when I was trying to cook when I was there, and I actually noticed that she had a little tray of like the type of things that you use to crush spiritual stuff up and like different stuff. And then she ended up showing me this box of a bunch of different things that she do spell work with. And she claimed that it was harmless, but I don't think that it was harmless. I think that it's very harmful what she was using these things for, and we gonna get into why I think that again. But this is just all leading up to the point to how I even got in the industry. But after this falling out, the guy, he knew that I was Instacarting and DoorDashing at the time to be able to pay my rent, and I was able to pay my rent and everything successfully. I had a very nice apartment. I had it very nicely furnished and stuff like that. And I had went in his apartment, and his apartment was like barely furnished. And I just feel like some people get jealous of what you have and they start doing things. Now, like I said, whatever he does as his job, he was able to have access to my phone. So I guess he got real petty afterwards and decided that um I shouldn't be living there, so he tried to stop my finances. And how I know this is, I would go Instacarting near our apartments, and his daughters, cuz he was like in his 40s at the time. His daughters, he had like four daughters, and they're older, up in age, they know better. They're able to travel by themselves. So I'm in the store, I'm about to start my Instacart or whatever, and his daughters come in the store and they're all like laughing around me. They're driving around in a handicap chair that the older people like pretty much sit and drive in, and like they're just around me doing a bunch of weird stuff. Like they were trying to either intimidate me or get me to be um distracted. And when they seen that that wasn't working, that I wasn't paying them no mind, all of a sudden my phone just shut off. phone just shut completely off. And ever since then, like I've been having nothing but issues when it came to the devices that I've been having. It's like this guy don't want me to have any jobs so that I could be stable. So I don't know if this is his own vendetta or he is in with my family on trying to make my life a living hell. Because like every time I either obtain an apartment or a car, it's like they try to outdo me. Like they always want to have better than me. So I end up leaving the apartment because I lost the job due to being falsely reported. Like and then I had an accident with the other job. So long story short, that's how I got into the industry. And I met somebody, was dealing with them, which it was a mistake because of who I was dealing with, but he actually put me on to doing videos, doing content, and that's how I started with that. And during me doing content, I had also tried to look into other things like to do actual like professional work. So I found this job listing for adult entertainment, like this site where you could list what you want, like make up your own little resume or what so have you, and people reach out to you. So a guy reached out to me, and at first, I turned down the offer or whatever. I told him I didn't want to leave my apartment because at first I wasn't going to leave at first until I felt like I wasn't going to be able to pay the rent. So this all happened in the meantime because I was looking for other solutions, other options. So we would talk on and off because he was trying to like pretty much get me to come to where he was, like pretty much just put everything on the line and come to where he was, and I didn't do that. So then I ended up having to leave my apartment shortly after, like I said, because of everything that was going on with my job, losing one of the jobs, and then the spiritual attacks. Um, like I said, I would get crazy ringing in my ear, like to the point where it was unbearable. Like it was a sign of danger or something. And I never had this done, so it wasn't like anything wrong with my ears or anything. I always was the type to go get checked at the doctor and make sure my physical health was up to par. So I never had any issues with that. So that guided me to go and get a reading and try to see if someone was in my energy and really doing things. And when I went, I was told by a practitioner that someone was heavily attacking me and that I pretty much needed to get away from that person. And I only noticed the attacks was only happening when I was at my apartment. And like I said, this is right above the dude. Like we were really like a flight away from each other, a flight or two away. So I end up moving out or whatever and back to my car situation, but I still had a little bit of money, so I was doing hotels here and there. And like I said, I ended up meeting someone. He turned me on to the videos, like I said. Now I had blocked the dude that came at me on the adult so adult industry adult entertainment website, whatever, because I felt like I wasn't gonna do it because I felt like he was BSing. I'm like, if you're a real manager, like you should be able to get me to where you're at, and I wouldn't have to sacrifice everything or put in everything to get to where you're at or whatever, especially if you're trying to manage me. So I stopped talking to him, I blocked him and everything. And somehow, when I started doing these videos with someone I started dating, he ended up finding me. How? I don't know. But he ended up finding me and calling me, and the call was real weird. But we talked again, and it was like me and my who I was dating, we were going through things or whatsoever. So things was a little rocky. So I kind of got to the point where I was kind of contemplating it or whatever. But I didn't end up contemplating it until me and him pretty much parted ways. And I ended up being in my car again. And I say, you know what? What do I really have to lose? And I end up giving him a shot. And I said, he had offered me um, to do an $800 gig or whatever. And I said, okay. So I actually risked it and took my money and traveled all the way to where he was. And it took a few months before the booking or whatever. We went on a trip. There was other girls that he claimed to have worked with or whatever. It was just a weird situation. But um, long story short, that's how I met a Sagittarius, and she's a lesbian or whatever. And she claimed that she wanted me. Like, I overheard her talking because he had asked her during our trip. We are all in a hotel room together or whatever. And there were other new girls, supposedly. And she claimed, she was like, I want that one. And she pointed to me. But she never really came off to me. She tried to have me do something with her and another dude, but I pretty much was hesitant because I didn't want to do things wrong. I knew that he was going to be managing me, so he told me I couldn't go, so I didn't go. I didn't do it. So I just stayed, and I did the one shoot or whatever. And for whatever reason, um, he had to borrow what do you call that? A tripod of mine, and to do the shoot, to get more footage or whatsoever. So he did the shoots, but when it came up to mine, instead of him paying me 800, he ended up paying me 500 for the shoot, which the shoot was um should have been more than everybody else's, since I was doing more than everybody else. But like I said, I got paid that. So I wasn't really too happy about that. We had some words or whatever, but we were able to get past that. But once we got back to his hometown or whatever, and one of the girls that was on a vacation, she ended up coming back with us. And after she came back, I just really wasn't liking the vibes or whatever. Like, things just started to seem real dark. And the girl, she just really seemed like she didn't like me or whatever. So, me not really knowing these people like that, I told him I wanted to move out because I didn't really want to be around it. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the energy. I just felt like it was a dark space, and like it was tolerable before the other girl got there, but after she got there, I just didn't like it. As well as the girl that was there when I first got there, like she was sometimey. Like sometimes she was cool with me, and then other times like she just had an attitude or whatever. So I just didn't feel like dealing with it. So I told him pretty much thank you for everything, and even the whole time that I was there, I pretty much paid for a lot of my stuff. So me personally, I don't feel like I owe him anything, but I feel like he thinks that I owe him something, or he owns me or is entitled to me because he put me on to two people in the industry, and one I started dating. It was like the second producer that I ended up working with. And because he ended up breaking my tripod during the shoot and not paying me what he was supposed to pay me, he said that I didn't have to pay him for those two shoots that he set me up with. But somehow he ended up speaking to the producer I ended up dating because they knew each other before me, obviously, because they've been working together. So he ended up telling this producer, the one that I was dating, that I didn't pay him his money and all this stuff like that. When it was a lie, because he told me I didn't have to pay him because he broke my stuff. Not only did he broke my tripod, he didn't pay me what he was supposed to pay me for the shoot. So he said that it was called even pretty much. Now he didn't give me any more work after that. Pretty much I was not under his management after that. Like I left, but he wasn't doing anything other for me. Like anything that I did after him, it was through the producer I was dating and off of my own accord, my own reputation that I had built for myself once I had veered off and was just by myself. So, I've been dealing with that as well. But long story short, the girl that claimed that she wanted me, she tried to come in between. What she did come in between the relationship with me and the producer because she saw the life that I was living. I was living good at the time. I had everything that I want, always looking good, always had everything kept up. And I would notice that there were girls that would be under fake pages talking about, oh, he's dealing with me as well. You're not the only one he's dealing with. And he would used to tell me, like, not to worry about that. They're just saying that because they're jealous or whatsoever. But one day that we had an argument, I ended up leaving to go get some cigarettes. And I guess the girl was nearby, the Sagittarius, like, and I feel like this old manager sent the Sagittarius towards um towards the producer I was dating because he wanted to break us up. So prior to this happening, I told him I didn't want him working with her because that's what I felt like the manager was doing. And I was completely honest with him on why I didn't want him working with her. It's not like I just said I didn't want him working with her and that was just it, or I had anything against her. I strictly told him I didn't want him working with her because I felt like the manager I left was mad that that I left him and that he was sending her in to break us up. But he obviously didn't listen, and he must have told the girl when they were having an affair because, like I said, during one of our arguments, I ended up leaving to go get cigarettes. And when I left, I noticed that I walked past her. Like she walked past me. I remember her face. Like she walked past me like she was going towards the apartment and I was going away from it because I was going to the store. I was almost at the store. So we even caught each other's eyes or whatever. So I was pretty much angry. I didn't even want to go back to the apartment or whatever. But I pretty much just let things be and I kept it moving because I did have a good life at the time, and I'm just like whatever at this point. What could I truly expect when I'm dealing with who I'm dealing with? So I stayed, and then it was like it seemed like my coffee was getting poisoned, my food was getting poisoned to the point where one day I really got severely sick to the point where I was bedridden and I felt like I was going to die, and he left me in there because we had a shoot house and an apartment. He had an apartment and a shoot house. And I would mainly stay at the shoot house because I felt like it was better there. So he had left and he went to his actual apartment, and I was there for about a whole week, pretty much in bed, not able to move, and feeling like I was about to die. Um, I guess I prayed myself out of this situation and tried to nurse myself back to life as best as I could. And until I felt better, um, I got myself together and got back to things. But that relationship didn't last too long after that because we kept butting heads because he kept cheating and lying and stuff like that. And it got to the point so much to where he kicked me out or whatever. So now I'm back on the street, but this time I have money because I had saved some money up to get an apartment. Well, I had saved money up, period, because you never know what happens, and I just liked to save. I wasn't the type to just splurge everything that I had, everything that I was making, and everything that he was giving me. So he kicked me out. I was out for a little bit, but then he ended up begging me back, and me being young, naive, not knowing what I know now, I went back. And when I went back, we had an argument um, because one time he asked me, "Do I know who my parents are?" And I said, "What?" Like it was just odd to me because I'm like, "Why would you ask me that? I never told you anything about my parents, so why would you figure that I don't know them or if I know them or not?" So it was just weird to me. And one day I'm talking about my relationship with my parents, and he pretty much, well, with my mom, and he was like pretty much giving me backlash or whatever. So we got in an argument again. So I was probably there only for like a day or two. And he went to the bathroom, and after the argument, like I just left. So he came back to me gone. Like I just had enough. So that's when I completely ended the relationship. I was homeless until I got into an apartment or whatever. And that's when I ventured out on my own. I started working out on my own until they started to try and stop that for me as well. Like I was getting shoots and everything, but then I encountered a Caucasian man who I did a shoot with. Normally things was on the up and up. You do the shoot and then you get paid after everything is done and all that. So I did a shoot with him as well as a photo shoot with him, and it was like I forget if it was, I think it was like Easter or something, and he claimed he had to go home or whatever. We wasn't even done our shoot, so me being naive and the nice person I am with the good heart, he told me this story about his kids or whatever and his wife. So I let him go, and he was supposed to come back. He never came back, and as well as him never coming back, I never got my money. So that's the first time they started messing with my money. Then I started shooting with someone frequently, and then all of a sudden, like they would renege on the shoots. Like I would be almost halfway there. Like I'm in Philadelphia, they're in New York, and you know tolls is expensive for New York. It's like 20 to 20 something dollars there in the same back if you want to get home quickly. If not, you have to drive for hours. So I damn near got all the way there and he canceled on me. So at this point, I'm like, I don't know what's going on when it comes to the industry and trying to work with these people. But it seemed like they don't really want me to work, or they're trying to hold back opportunities or do certain things. So I just tried to focus on the content aspect. But my OnlyFans um, money started dwindling. Like I noticed I started getting less and less. So if it was him, I don't know if it was the producer that I was dating, try to get me shadow banned and try to pretty much black blackball me so I wouldn't be making money in the industry anymore, but it came hard for me. So like I said, I was pretty much trying to do things my own way. So couldn't afford my rent anymore once again, and back on the hamster wheel of being homeless. And in the meantime, I had to pretty much try to get money in any way that I can, and that's how they came into play about trying to give me a STD by sending certain people towards me, like I said. So ever since then, they've been trying to send people towards me for me to get this STD for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they want me to go down. They're trying to frame me because a lot of people have been stealing from me when it comes to money and property that I either work for or I either was left. But they have recruited so many people involved in this. And like I said, my baby dad and who he knows, like I said, he was in the Air Force. Not only was he in the Air Force, he was a part of a huge car club that was well known. And you know, when you're in a car club, you go to other events and you're meeting other people that's in car clubs, truck clubs, and whatever clubs that they drive or whatever. So he knows a lot of people. As well as that, he's been promoting since um, pretty much way before me. So before 2013, he's been in a promoting business. He's also done security at numerous hotels, numerous bars, numerous clubs, numerous after hours. So he know a lot of people as well as celebrities. I either even witnessed it myself. He has a picture with Cardi B herself before she even blew up the way she is now. So a lot of people has been in on this when it comes to the military, when it comes to officials, when it comes to people that's in the adult industry. One person that I was dating, their dad was a mason, so there's masons in on this. Like, it's so many people, it ain't even funny. And I'm pretty sure people think that I'm lying or things just really ain't as deep as I'm saying, but I'm telling you, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. And these people have been trying to stress me out to the point to me trying to unalive myself. So they want me to unalive myself. Like I said, they've been doing nothing but spiritually attacking me ever since. So I'm somebody who gets spiritually attacked on the daily and sometimes multiple times throughout the day. So I try to stay to myself. I really don't like to engage with too many people because I really don't know who I could trust. But at this point, like I said, I'm just tired because these people are trying to block every avenue for me to make money so that I won't get on my feet or so that I conform to what they want. Because now that they realize they couldn't frame me and give me something while me being on my own, now they want me back a part of the industry, and I don't want to do that. Like, I've been stopped doing videos and stuff, and I just don't want any part of that because y'all heavily betrayed me time and time again, and I just don't want to go through that. I don't want to have any dealings with it. Like I said, I ain't know what the industry really was about. So I stepped into it naive, not really knowing what it came with and all that. So now that I know what it's about, I just don't want no parts. But these people will not leave me alone. Like, they're so adamant with trying to frame me, trying to make me go down for certain things so that I don't get what is mine. So it's just been a lot of things going on. But like I said, this car is a new car. I shouldn't have any problems. But the salesman, Alex Nugene, in Lakeland Toyota, they are the ones that sold me the car. And actually, they actually gave me a different car before this. And as I was searching for cars, like I said, my devices are always hacked. They've been hacking my every device that I get because they have officials a part of this that's able to get into my devices. And I've tried to get help multiple times in multiple ways when dealing with certain situations, and no official will help me, as well as a CIA agent had told me that, yeah, it appears that my devices are being hacked, but they wouldn't help me as well. Um, there was an altercation with one of my phones that I had sold, and the person wasn't really trying to release the money. So, FBI was contacted. I like put in a report, and they really didn't want to help me as well at the time. Like, they took longer than expected. But long story short, when it comes to this car situation, I had a different car before this car, but it was more monthly. They knew that it was something that I wouldn't be able to pay, but me, I try to keep faith in God and try to have a can-do attitude, um, so that I could manifest positive things. But they gave me that vehicle, and even with that vehicle, they had access to certain things to where as though um, they had locked me out, was playing with the locks. Well, not locked me out, but as I was on a like gig, I was delivering something and I tried to lock my doors or whatever, and I couldn't lock my doors all of a sudden. And I'm thinking it's the key fob, so I got the battery switched and everything, and I still had the problem. And then I had a light on the car. Like, it was just different things going on with the car. So, as always, I always speak of the situation because I know that they be having listening devices and everything around me. So me venting about what's going on with the car, um, they end up trying to make it hard for me to obtain the license plate for the car. And then they claim all of a sudden that the bank that approved me, they actually declined me. So I had to give the car back and I had to get a new car. But this time, they didn't even allow me to pick the car. They picked out a car for me and said that was the only car that I was able to get. And this is how I know that they did something corrupt and unjust when it comes to this car. Because, like I said, whatever they did, they're able to control it to the point where they could shut it off. And even if jumped, it won't come on. So at certain times or with certain people, or if I reveal certain things to certain people, it seems like that's when they'll allow it to start. But if I don't go talking about what I'm going through, they pretty much will keep it in the state of where it can't be turned over. Like, this is literally the third time that I've dealt with this situation. Like I said, the first two times, I thought it was due to me leaving a charger plugged in. And the first time, it really wasn't even for that long. Like, I literally turned the car off to go to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, came back, and my car wouldn't turn on. So gladly someone was near me to give me a jump. They gave me a jump. The car act like for a few minutes it didn't want to turn over, but it turned over. Car turned on. No signs of nothing on the dash. Nothing. Next day I got the car tested for the battery, starter, alternator, and nothing was wrong. Second time this happened again, um, I'm in the parking lot. I'm sleeping. Sometimes when I heat my food up, because I heat my food up, I don't buy too much fast food or anything out there because these people have been putting stuff in the food and stuff. Like I said, these people have been really trying to get me out of here any way that they can. So they've been orchestrating and working, collabing with so many people. It's not even funny. So I pretty much be trying to make my own food, or I'll go to a place where I can actually see my food being served. But I was heating my food one night and I ended up falling asleep. I was tired and the car wouldn't cut on. But only this time I had a jump by two people and the car wouldn't cut over. And then the third time someone came, but they had a different form of jump. And first time it worked, but I literally was sitting there for hours, nearly half the day, before the car actually turned over. And I really feel like that be a part of their humiliation rituals or whatever. But then this last time, like I said, um, I went to sleep, nothing was plugged in because I always double check to make sure I don't have anything plugged in when I'm about to go to sleep, even if I'm not about to go to sleep and my phone is charged up enough and everything. I unplug everything and turn the car off or whatever. But yeah, the car was working perfectly fine yesterday. I got to where I stationed myself at, go to sleep. I woke up knowing that these people know that I was supposed to start a new job today. And I woke up maybe about 5:30. I had to be there at 8. So when I woke up, I couldn't start the car. Like the car wouldn't cut on at all. So at first I'm just thinking about what to do. I really don't have money like that. So I really didn't know what to do, and when I was outside, I didn't really see anybody to ask for a jump or anything. And then I had to put oil in my car, so I put the oil in my car, and somehow I got locked out. So they locked me out of the car. Everything is in the car, my phone, my bag, everything is in the car. I have nothing. So now I don't know where to start, how to get help, because everything is in the car. So I'm at a Walmart, so I'll go into the Walmart and I use someone's phone, and people aren't that trusting with their phones. So of course, for me trying to get road assistance to come and get the car unlocked, I couldn't do that because they needed the VIN number. I didn't know that they was gonna need it. Better yet, I didn't even know if someone was gonna even allow me to use their phone because, like I said, a lot of people been weird to me for whatever reason, known or unknown. Um, they're either laughing at me or just giving me like disgusting looks, like I disgust them. So I went in there, tried my luck. Like I said, I got on the phone, but due to me not having a VIN number with me, that was a done deal because I would have had to go back to the car. And I know the lady wasn't allowing that. I even told her what they wanted me to do, and I didn't want to hold the couple up, so I let them go. And then I just started asking around to see if there was anything that I could get the car unlocked with. from the associates, and they said that it should have been. So went there and looked around for whatever it was, but they claimed they couldn't find it. So time is just going away. So at this point, I'm like, can you just call a locksmith or whatever? Now, mind you, these people watch my finances. They know what I make. They see everything incoming and outgoing. So they try to have me without no finances because they want me homeless on the street. Me being homeless in my car isn't good enough for these people. Like, even me being homeless in my car, these people have tried to, like, pretty much work with certain um businesses to pretty much harass me and make sure that I don't stay there. So my options are very limited, even in the car of where I can go. And there's always like police around. Like police always wants to come around, either when I'm just about to arrive at a location that I feel like I will be able to sleep at, or even or while I'm there, or they'll have security, and there'll be all these cars there, but me out of everybody, they come and harass me like I can't be there. So, like I said, I'm in the Walmart. She called the locksmith for me. He told me what the price would be. I really don't have it, so I had to pretty much borrow from my app, not a person, but borrow from my app because I had an advance just to get back into my vehicle. And at first, the guy that unlocked my vehicle, he wouldn't. And yeah, I'm about to miss this part. While I'm waiting on the locksmith to call back, because the locksmith had to call back, so I had to wait up front for the girl. She came back with the phone when the locksmith called, and he told me he was on his way and everything like that. And I still had to wait longer until he had arrived. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for her to come back, because he said that he would call back, and there's this guy that keeps walking back and forth, and he's looking at me, but he has like a smirk on his face. And then there's like people laughing and all that stuff. And at first I paid it no mind because, you try not to think negative in a situation. Like I already got enough to deal with. So I didn't want to jump to conclusions at first. But then um, there's another lady that came in, face heavily, make, make, got caked up makeup on it or whatsoever, and she walks past me and she like gave me the nastiest look, like I knew her and I did something to her. And I'm like, what the heck is she looking at me like that for? Like, lady, I don't even know you. And I tried to pretty much brush that off, but then she came back again. And the second time she came back around and she passed me and she just like, ugh. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, lady, I don't even, like, why you doing all that? So it's like they send people around me to do certain things, I guess because they want me to have altercations with these people or whatever. But I said what I said, and I'm asking her, do you got something to say? And then she don't say nothing. And she acting crazy and she walked past me again, and first she tried to act like I wasn't there. Then she looked back and she like smiled, and I'm like, now it's funny? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's your problem? So then after that, she come back again, but this time she come back and she's talking to two other girls, and one of the girls pointed at me, and they're like laughing and talking, and I'm like, yo, I'm just sitting here, I'm not bothering nobody. I'm just trying to wait on what I have to wait for, and here they go trying to start drama with me. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not even gonna wait for her to come back with the phone call. He know what my car is, where it could possibly be. I already told him that, so I'm gonna just go and sit by my car. So I sit by the car. He finally came, and he told me the price or whatever. So I'm like, cool. Really didn't have it to pay. So I'm like, man, like he worked with me or whatsoever. So cool. Got that done. He got in the car, and he gave me the options to pay. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll pay such and such way. I chose my option. After I chose the option, he claimed that he could not access the option that I chose, the option that he gave me. And then he claimed that sometimes didn't work and that I would have to give him my card number to enter in so that he could give me a receipt and all that. He's a legit company, and it's like I understand you're a legit company, but at the end of the day, me and my situation, I don't trust anybody. Like the little that I have, people are trying to take from me, and I don't even have it. Like people are watching my finances. You know, I didn't have the money to get this done, but you locked me out of my car purposely. Because for one, you didn't want me showing up for that job because you didn't want me to have another form or a way to make money because you want me to be without money because you want me on the street. Going back to the readings I've been doing, they want me on the street because they feel like whoever they're trying to send in next to come and give me an STD, it would be easier for them to come in and offer me whatever they have to offer me, whether if that's moving in with them or whatsoever, so that they could give me this STD. So they've been really trying to push towards trying to make me homeless and put me on the streets. So they've been watching my finances and really trying to stop and block every form of finances that I do have. So, back to that situation. So we said a while, and I'm like, I just don't trust it. Can I do another form or whatsoever? So he like, yeah, and then we end up figuring that out. But first, I asked him, could he also give me a jump? He tried to throw extra on it for the jump. And I'm like, I just told you I really didn't have it pretty much. And then, like, I had to communicate with the job as well because now it's a few minutes before 8 o'clock. And I was just told on the phone, and like I said, because they could hear everything I say, every communications that I have with anybody, they heard on the phone when the lady told me if you cannot cancel ahead of time, you will be deactivated from the app, and you will pretty much have to appeal to be back. Don't and necessarily don't mean that they're gonna let you back. And on the first day, you not showing up, that just looked bad, period. And I told the lady what was going on or whatever, and she claimed that she would talk to the other employees of where I had to pick up the things or what so have you and get back to me before canceling it. And then when she finally got back to me, she said I had to cancel it, but before I could even cancel it, I get onto the app and I'm already deactivated. So job done, gone. So that was their whole plot and plan for me to get lose that job anyway, even though I just literally got it. But this is what they've been doing for years. They've been falsely reporting me on jobs, making me lose the jobs off of these false reports, and this has happened multiple times. Or they have played with my GPS so much to make it seem like I'm not doing my job correctly or I'm not finishing on time or just so many things to really try to fuck with my finances. And like I said, after I expressed to him someone is behind all this and I just can't get a break pretty much, and he offered me the jump. And it's funny because the second time that this had happened with the car shutting off, a normal jump didn't jump my car. That only happened the first time that this happened. But he used a normal jump, and now all of a sudden it jumped my car. But I guess they allowed my car to be jumped because now I missed the job. Now I'm jobless from that job. So now I only have my old job, which they keep offering me pennies and it's not enough to survive. So it's like I'm really at a loss right now, and no matter how much you try to express to people what you're going through, they try to make it seem like you're the reason why you're in the situation that you're in, or you're not trying hard enough, or what so have you. But when you really got this many people against you all around the world, to where as though you can't go to any state and be comfortable or have things not happening, it be the same things over and over that these people do in every state, and they'll laugh in your face to make it known that they are a part of it. They'll say indirect things about your situation, and it'll be things that you talk about in the privacy of your own space, and they'll say it indirectly. So say for instance, I go to a store and I just said something, I just talked about something in my car, and I get to the store and they're talking to somebody else in line, whether they know them or not, and they're saying something about what I just talked about. But it be indirect, so they try to make it seem like they're not talking about me, but I know they're talking about me because I just talked about that. It's not it's not a coincidence every single time I go somewhere somebody's saying something that I just said or that I was just talking about. So it's like they try to be smart to make it seem like they're not doing something, but also to make it known enough so they can like throw it in your face that they're in on it. And it's like no matter how much I express what I'm going through, people refuse to help me. And it's like it's not like I'm not trying anything. I literally am trying. It's just they're blocking everything from me. Just like with my YouTube, I'm just now able to get views and likes and all that. I've had this page for 4 years. I should have been able to get something off of here, even if it's just me getting to the point of 500 followers to be able to get the first level of earnings from YouTube. But no, they've been blocking me on YouTube as well, just like the YouTube I had before this YouTube. They sat there and what you call it, suspended me off that because they claimed it was nudity, which that was a lie. Because I've seen multiple people on YouTube show more than I've ever shown on YouTube, and I only had one video like that. And it was literally everything was covered except for like my legs and stuff. Like I was really not showing much compared to what I've seen. I've pretty much seen people naked on YouTube. I've seen people posting their vagina with just like a flower covering it. Like, but they suspended my page off of YouTube, a page that I've had since 2011, which first I just used to put my music on there. But once I saw that they were blocking this page that I created strictly for tarot, that's when I started doing the tarot through that page, which only had about 200 subscribers. But ever since I started doing the tarot on that page, like my views and stuff was going up. So once they saw that it was going up, that's when they suspended me and claimed it was nudity. I tried to appeal it several times. They wouldn't allow me to get my page back. So I tried to start a new one and they blocked that one as well. Like I would notice one video I would get a lot of views, and then the next I wouldn't get any or very little, and then nothing at all. Like, so they've been blocking me on YouTube, period. And that's when it comes to 3 pages. And like I said, this page I've had for 4 years, and I'm not even where I could earn anything off of here. I don't get any support. I do these readings. I try to help people out as best as I can, and I don't get anything from it. Like nothing at all. But I'm just putting this message out here because hopefully someone that's higher up will see this. Um, I don't really know who knows who, but if you really have integrity and you know somebody that stands for justice that could actually do something, please send them my way. Like, because at this point, I don't know what else to do but to keep sharing my story and to keep exposing these people because they refuse to leave me alone. Like I said, like I don't want to deal with somebody that I don't want to deal with, and they keep trying to force me to deal with certain people because they know that they're infected with the STD that they're trying to give me, and I don't want to deal with these people, and they're really trying to force me by any means. But that's pretty much where I'm at with it. But like I said, if you know anybody of assistance in any way, shape, or form, you could share this live with them or just relay the message for them to contact me or whatsoever. Because now I'm just focused on trying to get help and justice in this situation. But yeah, hope y'all have a good day. I'm probably gonna get started on my readings because I'm not about to let this bring me down or whatever. I'm gonna just keep it moving. At the end of the day, like I said before, a lot of people in this world is just hateful no matter how much they try to show the facade like they good people. Like that's just what it is. You're easily paid off to do some wicked shit, to do some unjust shit. It's not too many people in this world that has integrity. And through this situation and through how many years I've been going through this, it's been shown. But yeah. See y'all on live when I do my collective reading. Deuce.